Welcome to Your Town. I'm your culinary host, Chef Wendy Brodie, Art of Food. And my guest today is a dear friend and respected culinary professional, Chef John Romano. And I'm going to mention his designations AAC and CEC, which means American Academy of Chefs, a very special distinction, and CEC, which is another distinction of the educational level. He's a certified executive chef. Welcome, Chef
Thank you,
Romano.
Wendy. Thank you very much, yes.
Anyway, such an incredible background.
Mm-hmm.
We've worked together. We've had fun together
Yes, we
in the
have.
kitchen. But many people, especially since you've been in our area, you're a local now for many years, but you got your start back east. So why don't you fill us in on your culinary career with your own career as well as our Chefs Association
Sure.
career?
First, I started with my grandmother back in Massachusetts. And then after knowing that what I want to do, I went to University of Massachusetts for restaurant and hotel management. And after that, I went to Culinary Institute of America.
The other CIA.
Other CIA, yes. And fortunately, during Vietnam era, I was drafted, and that's how I got to this area. I went through the Pentagon. I worked there for training, Fort Lee, and they saw I didn't need that much training. Matter of fact, one night when I was there, they called me in the afternoon to go to the White House to help out because I guess they needed extra help.
Wow.
Since I had a top secret clearance. So the limousine picks me up, and for President Nixon, we did a nice dinner for him. So that was kind of an exciting day, just that one day, just that one time. So after that, I came to California to be the chef at the General for Fort Ord.
And you also were with the Pentagon, you helped in the Pentagon.
I worked in the Pentagon. That was a training station. Working there, yes.
Wow.
So anyways, that's how I got here.
Yes.
And after I got here, and worked for the Pebble Beach Company for about 8 years, and I decided to have my own restaurant. So I opened up, it was called The Gallery.
Oh, I never knew that.
It's on Webster Street, right around the corner from the post office. Right now it's Siamese Bay Restaurant. So what it was, I sold it twice to different people, and finally the Siamese Bay people bought me out, and they've been there since. And this starts in 1974, so this goes way back.
Wow.
So anyway, that's how I got there. Then went back to Pebble Beach Company, worked my way up to executive chef at the Beach and Tennis Club, and then I got a good offer from Monterey Peninsula Country Club. I went there.
The best places.
I went there for 13 years and loved it. But the long hours, I got another offer to work at Salinas Valley Memorial Hospital, which was half the hours, comparable pay, a little longer distance, but again, had a lifestyle.
Yes.
I had no life when I was at the country club.
Yes.
So that worked out real well. And then after driving from Pacific Grove to Salinas, I had another offer from Sunrise Senior Living, which opened up on Cass Street, which was same comparable pay and same hours and close. That was the main thing. And I retired there. I thought
no way, we're not letting you retire.
No, I thought I'd retire, but no, I got called by I worked for Chris Sprecher, Country Club Caterers. They do the Laguna Seca events. And of course, my friend Wendy, I've been working for her for years.
Oh gosh, it's such a pleasure to learn from you.
Keeps my hand into things.
Oh, super. Now, you've also had another special distinction besides the medals that I made you wear to look like Mr. T.
Yes.
But you were in Who's Who.
Yes, I was. I was in Who's Who. I was featured in there. They found out about me, asked for my bio, and I forgot what year that was. But yeah, I was featured in Who's Who magazine, or the publication, their book.
My dad is in there, so I knew what that was when I saw that.
And I still have your father's on one of his sketches.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I still have that. So that's on my wall of fame.
Right.
What
My
you
father,
saw.
is, for those that don't know, is Howard Brodie, who started the field of courtroom journalism for CBS Evening News and Walter Cronkite, and previously had been a war artist, journalist, and correspondent. But anyway, and he did a lot of sports things for the Chronicle.
Yes.
So
that's right.
That's how John and I connect
yeah.
on the subject, because John is a huge sports fan.
Oh, definitely.
Huge. He doesn't miss a game.
No, I'm a season 49er ticket holder. And that seems strange from being from Massachusetts. I should be a Patriot. But when I was there, was the only team, Patriots were like a minor AFL, which was a minor league pro team. So the New York Giants were the real team. So I said, no. I said, I want a real team. So when I moved here, that solved that one. So I became a Niner fan. I'm a big Red Sox fan, though. Still, that's in my blood.
Good
yeah,
for you.
so.
Oh. Now, to your adornments that you're wearing, tell us all of your different medals.
Yes. Is that a stiff neck fair?
Yes.
Okay, well, anyway, this one here is the Chain des Rôtisseurs, which is an old French, I guess,
food and wine
and
society.
wine with professional people, doctors, lawyers, not just chefs.
Right.
So been a member of that for over 20 years. That's where this came in, the Commandeer, that's where this came in.
Super.
And then this is a bronze medal, third place competition that I did for the ACF, American Culinary Federation,
right.
which was buffet work that I featured that year.
And you remember what it was?
It was a veal roulade platter. It had a 5-pound Maine lobster platter, and it was a vegetarian platter. I forget exactly what was on the vegetarian platter, but we had to do 3 different topics.
Is that veal Oscar and almost the veal and the lobster, or those were
they're
3
all separate. Yeah, the veal had like a pate in the middle and different colors.
Yes.
So that was my competition. This here is Chef of the Year, which I received in 1987. I won it for 1986. And this is the American Academy of Chefs, which is the AAC.
And those, for our viewers that don't know, the American Culinary Federation is a national organization of all different chefs and degrees of chefs, whether it's master chefs, executive chefs, educational chefs, working chefs, cooks, and we have different chapters all around the country, and we have a local one here, Monterey Bay chapter, and each year the organization decides to honor one of its own for all the work that you do and how you give back to the community. So congratulations on
thank
that.
You. And you won it the year before me.
It was before you.
Yes.
That was a memorable night for me as well.
Oh yes.
Because it was at the Monterey Peninsula Country
and
Club.
We had a big storm that night, and power went out, and they had a generator.
They did. They were one of the few.
Yes.
And anyway, I remember Bert Catino, who was hosting that, and the MC couldn't get there right on time because he got trapped down by one of the trees, so I had to almost give myself the award.
Yes.
Almost.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about, you mentioned your grandmother, but she had a restaurant.
Yes, she did. And she had a restaurant. It was called Little Raceland. In the 30s, it was at the racetrack. We had a racetrack right outside of Springfield, Massachusetts.
Wow.
And Seabiscuit ran there. So that's how famous this racetrack was. So, and then she moved, we'll say, down the street from there, which was right next to where I lived.
Wow.
So, 10 years old, I'm right there in the kitchen. And after school, Weekends, she did caterings. I'd help her with the caterings.
So
And
you got your
I
hands
knew my
wet.
passion was there.
Isn't that wonderful?
And she was a great, great lady.
To learn that so early on is very lucky. I knew in high school 3 things I loved to do, and I'm so pleased cooking was one of them, and I could begin to earn a living.
Oh,
in
yes,
it.
yes.
Besides your grandmother, your wife and your mother-in-law are all in the business.
Yes.
Brag a little bit about them.
Well, we'll start with my wife. She worked at Pebble Beach Company. Matter of fact, that's where we met and got married. Been married.
Diane Romano.
Diana Romano, yes. And we've been married over 40 years. Yeah, going on
Wonderful.
41 this year. And so anyways, we're happily married. She worked, again, at the Pebble Beach Company. And then she went to Monterey Peninsula Country Club after that, like I did. And she's still there. She's still there full time. So
I know,
she's
I
not
see her.
retired yet. I'm trying to get her to retire. And her mother, her name's Teresa, she worked until she was in her 70s at the time Doubletree Inn here. But previously she worked Southern California, Hollywood, all the restaurants in Hollywood, and Santa Cruz on the wharf, Stagnero, she worked for them. So her mother's been in the business very long time.
It's just in the family.
Yes,
What
it
a
is.
perfect
It
match.
is.
Because it really is this profession hard on marriages unless you're in the same type of thing,
Yes.
because you're always working when other people have time off. And
Yeah, so I
so
was fortunate on that. That's why we made 40 years. Yes.
perfect,
So-
perfect. Yes, she is wonderful. And you and I were just at an event, the Shenderoda
yes.
Sur event at Memory Gardens, where one of the servers there knew your mom and worked with your mom, and we were going over old times.
Yeah, and the manager there was my wife's ex-boss at the country club. No, he went there.
Small world,
Portola.
small world.
Yes.
Besides your grandmother, who have been your inspirations in the field?
Well, through State University of Massachusetts, I had a few professors that I admired. I was into like microbiology. I was thinking of going that way. So I had a professor there, and then I decided to become a chef. That's why I went to Culinary Institute of America, and there I had memorable Fritz Sonnerschmidt was one of my greatest mentors.
I remember that.
Yeah, he's still there, still going strong. And then coming to here, this area here, my biggest mentor was Mark Vadrine. He was a chef for a long time at the lodge at Pebble Beach.
And like almost all of the chefs came and opened their own restaurants after, and he opened French Poodle.
That's correct.
That anyway, that was a fabulous.
So yeah, and Pierre Bain, he was another mentor of mine because of his wine knowledge, and Fred Dame, of course, with his wine knowledge.
Yes.
So you got the wine and food pairings as mentors.
Since our profession is all about food, what are some of your favorite things to either eat and or cook?
Well, being Italian, of course, I love gnocchis with different variations, and veal dishes, different variations of veal, saltimbocca, all the different, and zuppa de pesce is one of my favorite dishes. When I go back east,
fish soup.
Fish soup. It's like a fish stew, really. Yeah, and it has a whole half a Maine lobster, has scallops, has calamari, has all the different seafoods in it. And it's either a white sauce or tomato sauce. And the plate is this big, huge, over about half a pound of linguine. So that's one of my favorites when I go back.
I'm drooling. I'm drooling. Any desserts that tend to stand out for you
I'm really not a dessert person, but there are some things out there. The zabayon I like with different fruits. My mother made a ricotta cheesecake. And she has a little touch of vanilla and lemon.
Oh, goodness. now to some of the things that we all go through as chefs. Sort of our worst horrors come through, and we have to, something either burned and we have to turn it into something else, or we have to quickly come up with something else. Any of those stories that you've either seen happen to others and not admit to yourself,
right.
or
I had some close calls. We were supposed to have these broccoli flans made up and fell apart, so we had to scramble get that back together. And actually, I didn't really never had that many casualties. I had challenges. We had to do abalone for 150 people, saute right to order. So I had to figure out how to do that. This was for one of the big groups at the Beach Club. And
how did you do that? What was
it? Was like we had to sear it on one side, for about 10 seconds, 1 second on that side, put it on sheet pans into the oven, and kept going on like that. So we had 2 people doing that, and other people, and then we had the people plating. So that was a challenge. And of course, the chain, the long table at the country club, that was a big challenge for us. It was 96 people on this one long table, and the courses were intricate, and we had to do. The most hardest was we had little packages. It was like they were petit fours with gum paste wrapping with ribbons. So I had my garment manger lady in the pantry. She had small fingers, a little Korean girl, and she worked on that. So we had 3
I should
packages.
have had you bring photos of that. Oh my goodness, that was.
So that was and then of course each course we had 7 courses.
And there's so many steps to these intricate dinners.
Oh yes.
So it really to plate up for that many people and get them served
and organize it in the service too for one long table. And my wife was spearheading that because she was there at the time, so I was looking on that part.
That is important. The 2 events that I've been at one long table, one time the service was around the table as opposed to 2 people working down the table. And I will say 2 people working down the table was a much better experience because you might have been finished by the time the other person across from you.
That's true.
Well, John, it is so fun going down memory lane with you.
Well,
and
we had many years together.
And I hope many, many more. It's so much fun, and I know you've got so many more stories to tell that I can't wait to have you back again.
Surely.
Thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure, definitely.